On January 1st, 2014, in the state of Colorado, people from all walks of life came out in the thousands to legally buy marijuana. A week after retail stores opened their doors to the public, we wanted to check in to see how business has been. I'm here with the owner of the Lodo Wellness Center, Linda Andrews. Were you a medicinal dispensary before you opened your doors as a retail business?
Yes, we opened as a medical marijuana dispensary 2009. So we've been here doing business for a few years. I didn't know what to expect, but it has been overwhelming, the difference. It was a whole different deal. The medical model was a whole different deal than what's turned out with retail.
Okay, so on January 1st, was the turnout generally what you expected, or was it more or less?
It was so much more than I expected. Now we are, a week into it. What right now is what I expected it would be. I expected we'd have like a steady flow and people would come to check us out. But the first day and the second day, we had 1,000 people through the door a day. This waiting room, which is large, did not have an empty space in it. There were lines around the block. It was crazy.
Wow, I bet that was thrilling, though.
It was, and a lot of people were from out of town. It was the weekend. I think we're starting to see the locals. I think a lot of the locals waited until the out-of-towners left.
So this is more the pace that you anticipated, but it's been lucrative?
It has, and it is more the pace that I anticipated, and I have no idea what it will continue to be. More shops are going to continue to open. The first day we were one of 18 shops, and by in a few months there'll be over 100 shops open. So I think, though, that we're in a good location, and I think it'll just spread throughout the city. It's a good thing.
Do you think that summer, they say marijuana tourists, that will actually be an influx of business?
At first, before I opened on the 1st, I didn't think that it was, but I completely do now.
So what got you involved in opening this business?
I've owned this building with my husband for a number of years. We had a long-time tenant that we lost. We had a space available. It was downstairs. It's hard to lease a basement space. We just started talking, and my daughter, this was something she was interested in, and she manages this, for me. And so we just decided to start it.
Wow, wonderful. So just all the pieces kind of fell together?
It just fell together. Of course, we had no idea we were going to end up in the recreational, marijuana business, because that didn't exist yet. So we were just in the regulations are so strict just to get through, the process for being medical marijuana, and then it's a whole other process for recreational. We had no idea where this was going, but it's actually a really viable new business. It's really exciting.
Well, so you weren't sure looking far into the future, but you just sort of, as soon as things became available, you just decided to go for it?
Exactly. We just taken it a step at a time, and we still have no idea where ultimately this will end up. I mean, since it is still not legal federally, we always live under that. But I actually think that the nation, the whole world is watching us. So we are really promoting that people are safe, and we want to set a good example so the rest of the world can follow us.
Definitely. It's amazing. You weren't anticipating it, but now you're a role model for the world in this new business.
Just like that.
So do you grow your own products here?
We do. We have 2 growers, a husband and wife, Matt and Gretchen. They are awesome. They grow some really quality product. I think we're really lucky to have them. And we are required to grow 70%. We can purchase 30%, but up until now we have grown 95% of our, hardly do we ever buy. Now we're going to start expanding. The recreational model has got a lot bigger demand on us. We'll still continue to grow most of our own, but we're going to have to go through a transition period as we expand.
Okay, a transition of just expanding the space and everything like that?
We're going to have to expand our grow.
And what is the most popular product that you've had so far?
That's a really good question. A lot of people, we have run out of edibles twice, which of course makes sense, because the people that didn't do the medical model that are now doing recreational, they might feel more comfortable starting with edibles to check out how they feel about it. In terms of actual marijuana, I would say the Bruce Banner is the most popular.
Bruce Banner?
Mm-hmm. If you are a resident, we can sell an ounce to you a day, and if you are from out of town, we can sell a quarter ounce. But because this supply is not exactly meeting the demand at this moment, we are putting limits on it. We are only selling 8s until we get our next harvest done, and then we'll be evened out and it'll be all fine.
Do you truly feel supported by the state of Colorado in operating this business?
I do now. I think that the state, this has been a learning curve for everyone, for us and for the state. They've, they're trying to figure this out at the same time we are. But over the time period that we've been doing this, we're so compliant, and we are so on top of all of our everything we have to do to be legal, and they completely work with us, and we understand they've got a learning curve, and they understand we do, and I think we've worked well together. I think it's working out.
That's wonderful to hear.
I think it's great. Once you get to know them, and once they get to know that you are legitimate, it's an easy relationship.
You're referring to the enforcement? Is that the
Marijuana Enforcement Division?
Okay, Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division, which is actually really new. So is that what you're saying?
Well, it's brand new. It's a brand new division. It didn't exist a few years ago. So now that it does, they're trying to find their way, and I think they have. And they're trying to find their way again with recreational. And I think it's all going to work out. I think it's going to be a great thing. And the tax benefit alone to our city and state is going to be really beneficial.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today.